into this beautiful space together. You know that we want to drop in. We're going to do that in a moment and breathe, and we're going to ask our guides and divine presence to hold us in the space. And whatever we need to hear to inspire us or to help us to do this next week, that's what we're going to ask to come in. And then whatever intention that you would like to hold for your own well-being or healing or whatever that might be for you, my lovely, bring that in as well as we drop into the sacred space together and claim it as a sacred space. Can we do that? I'm going to bring in this bell. We're going to take some breaths. We're going to drop into it. Here we go, my lovelies. Deep breath in. Long, slow out breaths. And we drop into this moment. It's so wonderful if we can create a sound or a mudra, or even just take the breath and begin to allow your mind and body to assimilate something, to integrate something that is this note to itself. Let's calm down, let's stop, let's take a breath, let's find a reset point. These are wonderful marking points for us, wonderful places for us to come in to a sweet, sweet space where we start to embrace our energy and feel the energy around us embracing us. So where you are right now, feel anchored and connected and held, supported and loved. Can you do that? And from our hearts, let's send radiant love and light to every soul, to their families and their situations and whatever it might be that you're in right now. Let's radiate love and light, beautiful, radiant energy into those spaces so that there can be healing and clearing, cleansing and releasing. As you relax your body and your being into this moment, claim this as your space, your sanctuary of light and love. And the highest vibration of light and love can come into this place now. Whatever it is that you can visualize and imagine around you, do that now. See this beautiful chrysalis, this power, this light energy all the way around you. Open up your heart, lift it up with a thought or a memory that you have. Something that uplifts your energy. And the moment we do that, it's so much easier for our guides, divine presence, to come a little closer because we have less static in our field. So take a deep breath into that. Clear and cleanse and brighten, enlighten the field around you even more. And now calling your guides, angels, divine presence, the highest vibration of light and love that you can hold at this time. That is so beautiful. Imagine how illuminated we all are. All of us here lighting up this space in this most beautiful way. As you hold this energy in your heart and your soul, and you hold this connection now, my lovelies. Let's consider this thought. And in fact, it's a question. Where is that off button? I always think, if I had an off button, would I have pressed it a long time ago? Probably. Probably a few years ago, I would have been so thrilled to know where that off button was and just go flick off, and now we're done. And let's go home. It's wonderful that we don't have an off button, as convenient as that might be, because we just don't know what's around the corner. And what is next, what is going to unfold in the next few steps and breaths of our life. I imagine sometimes for those who I know who have left early and decided they just could not stay. And suddenly all the magnificence that was lined up for them, the the next thing that they needed to move towards just crumbles away because they're not there to enjoy it. And I do really see this as something that is created, that there is a divine orchestration. There is an unfolding of this beautiful tapestry, this woven divine design, and that we're part of it. And if we're not there to fulfill the part that we are to be in it, then that little thread is missing. There is a gap or a hole in it. So if we had this off button and we could just switch it off, it's very possible that in our moments of sadness and overwhelm, we could just say, okay, now I've had enough, and flick, off it goes. And in those moments of overwhelm and exasperation, we so seldom think about all the other threads that are looped and intertwined into ours. We just feel so exhausted, so tired, so terrified, so angry, so lost, so alone, so filled with grief, that we can barely imagine that being here could possibly be an option. But if we could remember that we are not here alone, that the gap that you will leave because you chose not to be here would be so dreadfully sad. Nothing and nobody in all time and all fields and all dimensions of being could replace the essence and the energy of you in this moment, in this life, at this time. Nothing. Nothing could take your place. Nothing could fill that space. You truly are the most unique, most intricately interwoven design, part of the divine design. You might, as your human self, think, oh, well, it's not really significant. No one's going to miss this little thread. The ramification of you not being here will be enormous. And the entire design needs to shift. Can you imagine how much shifting has to happen to accommodate this gap? So, where is the off button? Oh, where is that off button? And the moment of it going off is the moment when we have completed our life journey, when the mission is over, when there's nothing more that we can do. But so while we are here, while we have this life energy and life force, we truly want to activate our entire system to be in this life, to be showing up with that energy field on purpose, on time, and aware of it. There's no use us just being here and marking time and breathing and having our heart beat and taking the steps and showing up and doing in all the mundane ways. What's the point of that? There's something else that you are holding. And I want you to hear that you are holding. It's not a doing. It's not an activation so much as I'm showing up and doing and I've created and I need to now go and create this thing and that thing so that I can leave an imprint or a legacy. We can do that, but that is not the thing. The thing resides within you. And for as long as that button is still on, and that vibration that's in you that is so divine and unique to you is being activated. There is a code or a signal that your being is emitting, pulsating through this beautiful heart, sending a note into all that is. And if it cannot be heard, it's not complete. If there is a gap, there will be a gap. So for us to know that there is a way that we can continue doing this life journey, and that has got nothing to do with pursuing and doing and showing up, that it is simply a holding of gracious space, holding you as the gracious one in this space. And then perhaps it'll be a little bit less demanding, less pressure placed upon you to have to perform in a certain way, to look like, to appear to others that you have been fulfilling your life's mission or accomplishing in the most wonderful way. It would be so lovely for us to get to the point where we could truthfully, completely understand that where we are, who we are, is the holder of an energy code. The button that we want to switch off is the signal that is needed at this time, at this place, in this field, this dimension. And we are holding it because we are here. So see if you can hold that now, my lovelies. Take a deep breath into that awareness. I know I tell you this a lot, but if we could feel it and really bring it into our being, affirm it and make it part of who we are, could come to the place now where we stop the performance, this endless performance that is absolutely exhausting us, this need for validation. When we come into this place, it is a solitary holding of an energy field that we know with all our heart and all our soul. It is that energy field that instigates all our life force, our movement to here and there. It is the flashlight that illuminates the path ahead of us, and it is the magnetic field that draws towards us what it is that is going to help us to feel and know and activate this field. So let's just talk about that for a moment. You hold within you a code, a signal, and if we cannot sit still and hear it and feel it, we are going to have to feel it through interaction. Something that is outside of us is going to have to indicate what the signal is that we are holding inside of us. This body, this mind, this being is an interface, and all those who are here around us are helping us, reflecting back to us what it is that we are here to be part of. If we haven't understood what that button is yet, what motivates us, what helps us to wake up in the morning, what is that connection to our deepest longing and desire? If we haven't connected to it, guess what's going to happen? It is so essential that we hold it clearly, that then we are setting up a story for us to have to feel its opposite, its contrast, in the field around us. And when we feel those calamities, those hard points, those jarring moments, and we're holding the note of peace and calm, love and grace, kindness and gratitude, whatever that thing is, if you're the holder of it, and this story is coming in and pressing hard against your awareness, and you go, oh, gosh, I so wish there could be more peace and kindness in this world. Boom. You're activating the message. You're activating the signal because you're longing for it. You're calling for it. But what made you call for it was the setup that you created by having the calamity or the hardship or the contrast connect into you so that you could awaken to what it is that you're here to awaken. The contrast reveals the story. All of us dear humans are doing that now. We are playing in the world of contrast and duality, disparity. We're all starting to feel completely desperate and wondering what on earth it's about and think, well, I'll just switch off my button and go home. Can you imagine? Imagine if all the light workers decided, that's it, I'm done, I'm going. And we all just switch off our energy button and off we go. Imagine how sad this place would be. We are the holders of a light, we are the holders of an energy, and we are the holders of a gracious space, which is our own energy. We have forgotten that we are here to activate it, that our heart is beaming a signal with every single beat. When your heart is beating rapidly to fear and anger and dread and foreboding and grief and misery and all these hard energies that activates a faster heartbeat, you are multiplying, activating, amplifying this energy out of grief, sadness, hardship, misery. It's a signal. And that signal gets picked up as a distorting signal that fills us with so much terror. And we're all going, oh, and shivering in our boots and going absolutely crazy. And we think, what's going on here? For goodness sakes, surely by now we could have learned this lesson. Surely by now we could be gracious beings. We are that already. We don't have to become it. We are that already. We are the holders of the switch of that button. We switch it off. That sound, that signal, that resonance does not activate in the field that we came to create it. We said we'd come into a human energy field. We said we'd stop in and we'd keep this pulse activated through our heart, our beating heart that's going to just beat for us and send the signal. Please remember that, my treasures, that you are the one that holds the key and the code. And as much as we think that we just cannot endure it, you're right. We can't endure more of the contrast. We don't need to know more contrast to know what it is that we would wish to bring in now. So if you could, this week, start every single day with a thought of amplifying your energy field through your heart as a signal. You switch on the amplifying button to that button that you hold, and you start opening it up in a more incredible way, sending a signal into the universe to all those around you. The story, the energy, the field that is held already within us. And you start to use this mind-body being, this vehicle that can hold resonance, hold energy, amplify it, and radiate it out through the magnetic field of the heart. You start to do that, and let's watch what happens. It's only a story that is showing us something. What is it showing us? And what do we want to change it to? We are the ones that are here to reset the story, create another vibration, open the field in a different way. It's a wonderful time for us to remember who we are, powerful beings. We think that we're just one small little voice. Oh my gosh, your heart, your one beautiful beating heart is sending a signal out into the world right now. What are you signaling, my lovely? And if you knew how important it was, could you just keep that button on and stay here a little bit longer But do it not just because we're enduring and suffering the story. We are not going to suffer anymore. If we're going to flick any little switch or any little button, let's send it out into a whole new energy realm, from the surviving story to thriving, abundance and fulfillment. Let's switch that switch, if we're going to switch any switch at all. And we start to hold that energy. It's not a doing, and you don't have to accomplish or achieve anything. You don't need anything to do it. You don't need to become better at anything. You are that already. Please hear that. Oh my gosh, please hear that. Because that's the hook that's going to get you when you're being told that you're not there yet, you're not good enough yet, and you're not fabulous yet. Oh, for goodness sakes. You are so it already. What is your heart desire? What do you long for? You've got the whole story within you. You came fully encoded, divine being of light and love. That's you. So just remember that, my precious ones. Hold yourself here with all your heart and all your soul. It's a wonderful time for us to remember this, to remember who we are and show up in our most excellent way, and then watch what happens. Beautiful us. Let's take a deep breath into that. A long, slow out breath. Oh, and just drop right into the center of it, my treasures. See if you can hold this as an anchoring energy, so powerful and strong, stable, unwavering, a pillar of light. I remember who I am. I know what it is that I'm holding as an energy code, a signal, and I hold the antidote to the human story of suffering and survival. Hold it now, my treasures, with all your heart and all your soul. Thank your guides, divine presence, and the highest vibration of light and love for breathing you, for walking with you, for being with you in every beat of your heart.